The main purpose of the United Nations is to build up a world without war, a world based on the cooperation of a nations and people. It is merely a world where war is kept in check by a balancing of armed forces. It is much deeper than that. It is a world from which the major causes of war have been removed and social structures built up which further peaceful cooperation within a nation as well as between nations. In the preamble of the Constitution of the UNESCO, it is stated that war begins in the minds of men. That is essentially true, and ultimately it is necessary to bring about the change in our minds of the and to remove fears and apprehensions, hatred and suspicion. Disarmament is a part of this process, for not it will create an atmosphere of cooperation, but it is only a step towards our objective, a part of the larger efforts to rid the world of war and the causes of war. In the present context, however, disarmament assumes a very special importance to us, overriding all other issues. For many years past, there have been talks of on disarmament, and some progress has undoubtedly been made insofar as the plans and proposals are concerned. Still, we find that the race of armament continues, as also the efforts to invent them more powerful engines of destruction. If even a small part of these efforts was destruction directed to the search for peace, probably the problem of disarmament would have been solved by this time. Apart from the more imperative of peace, every practical consideration lead us to that conclusion, for as everyone knows, the choice today in this nuclear age is one of utter annihilation and destruction of civilization, or of some way to have peaceful coexistence between nations. There is no middle way. If war is an abomination and an ultimate crime which has to be avoided, we must fashion our minds and policies accordingly. There may be risk, but the greatest risk is to allow the present danger drift to continue. In order to achieve peace, we have to develop a climate of peace and tolerance, and to avoid speech and action which tend to increase fear and hatred. And at the present, it may not be possible to reach full disarmament in one step. Through every step would be conditioned to that end. We live in an age of great revolutionary changes brought about by the advance of science and technology. Therein lies the hope for the world, and also the dangers of sudden death, because if these advances, the time we have for controlling the forces of destruction is strictly limited. If within the next 3 or 4 years effective disarmament is not agreed to and implemented, then all the goodwill in the world will not be able to stop the drift to certain disasters. In the context of things we say are today the great nations, the United States of America and the Soviet Union hold the key to war and peace. There is a great responsibility, but every country, big or small, is concerned in this matter of peace and war, and therefore every country must shoulder its responsibility. The work to this end, in order to deal with these bit issues effectively, we have to take big and impersonal views. It is only the United Nations as a whole that can ultimately solve these disarmament must be welcomed. The United Nations should be closely associated with such efforts. The questions of disarmament has been considered at various levels. There is question of general disarmament and of the ending of the test explosion of nuclear and thermonuclear weapons. So far as test explosions are concerned, considerable progress has been made in the discussion of the committee which has been meeting in Geneva. Indeed, it would appear that the agreement has been reached on many basic issues and only a little more effort is needed to complete this agreement. I suggest that a final agreement on this subject should be reached as early as possible. This is not strictly speaking disarmament, but unfortunately any such agreement will bring a large measure to relief to the people. Disagreement must include the prohibition of the manufacture, storage and use of weapon to mass destruction, as well as the progressive limitation of conventional weapons. It is admitted that disarmament should take place in such stages as to maintain broadly the balance of armed power. It is only on the occasion that success can be achieved, and this pervading sense of fear countered, it must also be clearly understood that disarmament and a machinery for control must go together, and neither of these can be taken up singly, and not a proposal has been made that the question of disarmament, whom he referred to a committee of experts. In fact, experts have been considering this matter during the past year, and we have had the advantage of their views.